Welcome to the Church Answers podcast.
Do you like to watch those numbers count down? See, our audience has never seen that. There's these numbers on the screen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Jess, you're live. I don't know. I love watching the numbers.
Yeah, and again, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably have no idea what we're talking about.
We have a countdown on our screen that tells us when we're going live. And the software actually goes live after the one disappears.
That's right. That's right. You know, it's old action and get ready to go. So we got it. I'm glad as the older you get, the more easily amused you are.
I think I've been that way most of my life.
Well, no, I think it's, you know, as the older generation, things have changed.
I guess
they have absolutely changed, and they have changed the way people view the church. Your generation views it dramatically different than the way my generation does, and the way even Gen Z and Gen Alpha do. And we're going to be talking about that.
My generation stinks.
In more ways than one.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about that on the Church Answers podcast. So again, welcome. I don't think I finished my welcome. Welcome to the Church Answers podcast. My name is Jess Rayner. I'm here with my dad, Thom Rayner, and we're going to be asking the question, why does Gen Z view the church differently? And we're going to look at some of the reasons why they do. Before we jump into the topic, we want to thank Cheney and Associates. If you have not heard that name, here's what you need to do. You need to go to this website right now. You need to go to CheneyAssociates.com/churchanswers. And you need
to have not heard that name, you have not heard us in years.
Or maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to give the reason. But if you haven't, you need to go to CheneyAssociates.com/churchanswers.
I'll wake up in the middle of the night and say, Cheney Associates. And then sometimes I'll say, pickleball, net sets. There's just so many things that come in my sleep.
And once you get older, you start seeing the world a little bit differently. Let me tell you who Cheney and Associates are. They are an accounting firm that is for the local church, and an accounting firm that only works with the local church. In fact, they have 1,300 churches that they help all across the nation. And so if you have any bookkeeping or accounting needs, go to CheneyAssociates.com/churchanswers and see how they can help you. They know church life, they know church language, they know what it's like to be a church leader, and they will there and come alongside you and support you so that you can lead your church. And they're going to do it by handing the numbers. So go check out Cheney and Associates.
As we go into this Gen Z description of how Gen Z views church differently, just a reminder, we are slowly, it's not rapid growth, we are slowly growing our YouTube channel, Church Answers Podcast. So if you can go there, watch it, give us subscribe to us, give us a thumbs up. I'd love to see that one grow more and more. Our podcasting apps have been going crazy. I mean, we're just growing like all get out. Most people are on iTunes or Spotify, something like that. You can give us a rating and review there. But I just want to give a reminder. Hey, if you haven't gone there, we're about a 20-minute podcast. That includes sponsors and everything. And we'll be done. And hopefully we'll be giving you some valuable information. Like why Gen Z views this church differently, Jess.
Yes. So real quickly, you've always been a student of generational studies, and you've written several books on several different generations.
3.
You still are. Well, you got the Bridger, you got the Millennials, Anxious Generation,
which is basically Gen Z with some Gen Alpha in there.
Yeah. So give us a little bit, just very quickly, dates for Gen Z, who they are, just very quick background information on Gen Z.
Well, some demographers mess this thing up. I mean,
they didn't ask you, did they?
No. And they didn't ask. Think about it, Jess. I named 3. Well, I didn't name the boomers. That came from someone else. But I named Gen X, and I called them the busters because it was a baby bust, not a baby boom. And I named the generation that followed the Bridger generation because it was a bridge between 2 centuries. I had it perfectly. Boomers, busters, Bridgers. Nobody followed me on that.
No.
Nobody followed me on that. And then you and I wrote a book called The Millennials, and that's the name that has stuck since that time.
Right. Yeah. That was kind of the commonly accepted name around that time as well. So Gen Z,
1997, 2012, in that area.
Okay, 1997 to 2012. They any idea their size? I didn't look this up ahead of time.
They are second to the boomers, but Let me try to find that out.
Okay. Okay. And so they are, I guess right now, Gen Z at the time they're recording this podcast, um, they would be around 13 years old to about 28 years old, uh,
Yeah,
around that time frame.
that sounds right. That
Okay.
sounds right.
13 to 28. So some people, you're thinking birth years, their birth years, and they go, well, how old are they? So 13 to 28. I have, depending on how you do the dates, I have maybe two Gen Z, maybe a Gen Z and two Gen Alphas right there. The way they see church is different
Totally.
than
Totally.
generations of the past. The values, expectations, this connected yet cautious generation. So let's run through 5 things in the way they see church differently. The first one's this: they value authenticity over polished performance. And I feel like this has been slowly happening for a while, but they
It,
value authenticity over polished performance.
the boomers brought the show.
Sure.
We brought the non-participatory worship. We brought, hey, somebody get on a platform, and it may be a bit overstating to say entertain us, but it was not high participation. It was get up there, sing your thing, and we're going to enjoy the lights, the show, whatever. The boomers just mess things up. By the way, uh, Gen Z population estimate about 70 million, 69.3 million,
Okay.
and the boomers were 76 million.
Okay.
So somewhere in that range. So Gen Z, it's not that they want poor quality music. It's not that they want something that is not done well. What they want, though, is authenticity over performance. And whether that is coming from the pulpit, coming from the praise team, coming from a choir, they want authenticity. Uh, I remember talking to a friend, and I'm not going to say who that friend was because I haven't gotten permission from it. But anyway, he said, "You know what? I can't stand. I can't stand these people that are on a podium. This was years ago, and they smile and they look like how they love Jesus, and then they step off the podium and they look like they're sour and don't like anybody." Well, that was kind of the view many people had. Now, Gen Z, it may not be the highest quality, but they want it to be authentic. And that didn't mean do low quality either.
I still think actually there's a demand for excellence in worship from Gen Z.
Excellence and high quality are not the same to me.
Right, right. This you talking about this polished performance, it can feel just kind of like they're there just to put on a show, and I think that's what you're going for. I actually think the quality demand is high for Gen Z.
Well, that's because
They
everything they hear is high.
I mean, you think of some of I'm just thinking of some of the more bigger worship bands. I don't know what you call them. From Elevation Rhythm, very high quality, very excellent in production. But there's also an authenticity that drives it. Versus someone just standing up, doing their song, and like you said, just walking off stage. It feels very impersonal. They want to feel that connection, even if it does feel some performance driven. Like they're on stage. It's not. I don't know if we're going to go down too much with worship here, but that congregational aspect. I think Gen Z is okay with not having as much congregational aspect, but as long as the authenticity is there, that's what's driving them with excellence.
I think that there's a part of Gen Z that has been very influenced by the Getty movement, and there has been high participation congregationally.
I think participation, and we're getting nuances here. I understand that. Definitely high participation, but not necessarily as much congregational singing. They do want it, but it goes back to authenticity. The hearts are on the stage. That is paramount in my viewpoint. So, second thing, they want participation. Again, that's what I was talking about.
You just said it. Yeah.
They want participation.
Sure, just go down 3, 4, 5, get them over with real quickly.
Not passive observation.
Yeah, well, one of the things that you encourage, one of the things Sam encourages as pastors, and a lot of the pastors I watch, they are saying this is not something that you are observing. This is something that you are doing in relationship to God, in relationship with others. You are not a passive observer. You are a participant in worship. Now, this reminds me of your story, and as we're talking about this, it happened last week. So during the worship service, we had an incident, and someone passed out.
Mm-hmm.
She's okay, but it was scary for a little while. I had to go get you at the front because you didn't see what was happening behind you. And you were so much in worship, it almost scared you. When I said, Jess, what? It's like waking someone out of a deep sleep. He said, I woke you out of a deep worship. And I said, we have an incident. What incident? Jess, turn around. There's someone in the aisle.
We were singing Endless Praise too, and I love that song. Oh, it drives me to the throne. It drives me to eternity. But yeah, it's so good. But yeah, it's that idea of like I want to participate in worship. I don't want to just sit there and observe. And I think any style of worship can lend itself to either participation or passive observation.
And if you have any doubts, just go to the book of Revelation and read some of the worship scenes there.
Mm-hmm.
And read about the participation that is taking place with all the believers and with all the angels. It's I can't wait to see it. I just can't wait to be a part of it.
It's really it's about going through the motions. I just don't think they just don't want to go through the motions. And it doesn't matter what style of worship. You can go through the motions with any style of worship.
Absolutely.
I think Gen Z, they just don't want that. They want to be involved. Speaking of being involved, I hope you as a church leader are involved in your community. I hope you are reaching your community, which is why we partner, who's our partner with upward.org, Upward Sports. We partner with them, and they're a sponsor of this podcast because they are all about helping you stay active participant in your community. They have a variety of sports for every church: basketball, cheerleading, soccer, flag football, volleyball, baseball, running for adults, and pickleball. Your favorite. In fact, right now you can get a free pickleball net set if you go
net sets with pickleball.
If you go to Upward. So go to upward.org/church answers, upward.org/church answers. Go talk to them now so you can begin to be ready for 2026.
Absolutely.
I mean, by the time this airs,
we're in the middle of September.
October is typically, for me, that's the next year's planning season. So October
3-0 or 4-0. I'm trying to remember.
I don't know. Hopefully it'll be that. But go ahead and contact them now. So as you begin to make your plans for 2026, you can know what pickleball, what Upward Sports can do for you. So go check them out. We're talking about why Gen Z views church differently. So far we've seen they value authenticity over polished performance. They want participation, not passive observation. Here's our third thing. They're socially conscious and expect the church to be as well.
I want to be careful here because I wrote those words, and I want to make sure that everybody understands that we're not talking about some type of
social justice
type of ministry. We're talking about being involved in the community, meeting needs in the community, meeting needs on a mission field, not just
community conscious.
I like community conscious better, and I think I'm just going to ask Alana to change that in the show notes for anybody, because I was worried that the socially conscious may communicate something else, but they don't want just passivity. They don't want just the church to do it. My generation, Jess, we paid for missions instead of doing missions. Now, that's an overstatement. There were a lot of them that did missions, but we felt good if we were giving our tithe and then the church tithe to whatever mission ministry there was, and we said, okay, we've done it, and we paid it. That is not what this generation wants to do. They want to know the church is doing it, and they want to be a part of it as well.
Yeah, which goes back to, again, the second point. They want participation. They want to be involved, and they want to make sure the church they're a part of is involved as well. The fourth thing, this goes back to leadership. This goes to leadership. Trust must be earned, not assumed.
When I was a pastor, I was probably the last wave of pastors where there was a deep all respect of the pastor, whether it was deserved or not. Mm-hmm. And so, you're a pastor, and you were put on a pedestal, and you people looked at you as a general rule in a higher way than they should. It's just the opposite now, and it's almost disrespect at times.
Yeah, what do you do? I'm a pastor. I can immediately see when I'm having a conversation for someone, and they finally ask that question. What do you do? It's like, I'm a pastor. I can immediately see they're like rewinding the last
Yeah,
five
what
minute
did I just
conversation in their
say?
head, like, oh no, what have I done? What have I said? And they're like,
What
oh,
was
okay. How
and that's
quickly
all
can
they're
I get
worried
away from
about.
this
Yeah,
conversation?
exactly. I mean, it used to be their pastor. Oh, that is something. Well, it's not just for pastors though; it's for believers in general. They want to see that a believer is authentic, that they can trust a believer. They want to know that that believer cares for them,
Mm-hmm.
and we are beginning to see, we're on the precipice, we're on the wave of potential revival of Gen Z, but we're not there yet. And a lot of it, I think, is going to be how God uses us to really show them who we are in Christ. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, and unfortunately, there's been a distrust among pastors because of some things that have happened. I mean, just across the board, and this goes back to technology. When something happens, it just gets spread so
Oh my
fast, which
goodness, yeah.
creates more mistrust with pastors. And so there's that. Before I jump in, and I have many of these conversations, not so much with Gen Z, just because they are a little bit on the younger side, but even some older generations, they want to know what they're committing to before they jump in. They want to know me, and so we actually have opportunities in our church. We have what we call our starting point class once a month, where they can come talk to me. We have something called Pizza with the Pastors, where they can meet all the elders of the church, ask questions. It's this, hey, come get to know us. And so, if you're thinking about how do I earn trust with Gen Z, really all generations, make sure you have open lines of communication. Make sure you have open opportunities for people in the church to connect with you and the community connect with you as well. The
Absolutely.
last, sorry, go ahead.
I just said absolutely. I was affirming you.
There we go.
What part?
The last thing, why Gen Z views church differently. Uh, Digital presence matters, but in-person relationships remain the most effective.
Just some of the better relationships that I have developed at our church have been with whom I think are Gen Z men, older men. They may be a little bit older, but some of these young men, if you will, and for some reason they want to talk to me. For some reason they want to have a conversation with me. I
I
try to
don't know
remind
why
them.
they would, but
I try to remind them I'm an introvert and go away, but some of them still hang around. And what I found out is they love that in-person conversation. They love that in-person relationship. And some of them could talk a long time, and I can't listen a long time, but I do my best. But this is so different from the boomers. I mean, my generation, gosh, hold the pickles, hold the lettuce. Special orders don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us have it your way. That's who we were. We,
I'm glad to see you're coming around. I'm glad to see you're providing some value to your church family here, and meeting with these younger generation. They do. They
it's
love.
all been spontaneous, though.
Yeah, and I think that's too. I mean, that's a big thing now. I feel like it's always, hey, can you talk right now? Hey, can you meet right now? But they want that in person relationship. They really do. I mean, my schedule gets filled all the time with people wanting in person meetings and
Meetings.
relationships, and so creating that space, creating that opportunity. Again, it'll help build trust. It'll help them get participate in the life of the church. It'll create authenticity. I mean, you can kind of see how these all are coming together in one kind of overarching just
And,
idea of they want to be together so they can participate, they can trust, they can know that you're real.
and I mentioned this in the last podcast, but I'll mention it again at the risk of self promotion. Think about getting my book, The Anxious Generation Goes to Church.
Yeah.
If Jonathan Haidt's book interested you, called The Anxious Generation, then my book, The Anxious Generation Goes to Church, shows Jonathan Haidt's book shows what happens to Gen Z in particular, the anxious generation, maybe a little bit of Gen Alpha, what happens to their mind when their adolescence is formed by primarily having a smartphone in front of their face and social
Mm-hmm.
media and going into their brain. What my book does, it talks about what happens when they go to church and how so much of that is rewound and undone and even improved. It is absolutely amazing what worshiping with believers will do, what listening to the word will do, what being disciple will do, what being in person relationships will do, and it can undo all kind of damage that has been done. It maybe not go away, but it can really reverse a lot of the damage. So I want to just say this to parents out there. If you're concerned about your child, I know all of you are, get your kid in church. Don't just send them. Go to church with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And
So good.
it's a certainly it's about salvation, but it's also about their mental and emotional health as well. It can do so much for them.
There's opportunity. If you're thinking about Gen Z, there's an opportunity out there to reach them with the
Absolutely.
gospel of Jesus Christ. And that's ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what I hope you do. And hopefully this podcast provided a little bit of information and maybe just a little bit of inspiration as well for you to do that. But before we let you go, we want to make sure you go to Cheney and Associates website. We talked about them at the top of the podcast, and we're super thankful for them and their partnership. We're thankful for their ministry that they
We're
have.
thankful that Steve Cheney's giving away net sets. Oh, I'm sorry, that was the other one.
You're getting confused here again.
I just want to be quiet.
Oh man, y'all pray for me if you listen to this podcast regularly. We want to thank Cheney and Associates. Go to CheneyAssociates.com/church answers. CheneyAssociates.com/church answers. They will help you with any bookkeeping, finance, accounting needs, no matter what church size, what church budget. They are there to help you, and doesn't hurt to get a call. Just to see what kind of resources they have, how they can partner with you. They get church life. They do. They understand the demands of ministry, and they're there to help. They're not there to add a burden. If anything, they're going to take something off your plate, and maybe that's just what you need right now. Maybe you just need a little bit more capacity. If that's you, go to CheneyAssociates.com/church answers and see what they can do for you. We're thankful for them, and we're thankful for you. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for being a part of this Church Answers podcast. We love that you guys join us every single week. We love that we get to talk about the local church, and ultimately we hope that it is a blessing to you, and that you're seeing the effects of what it means just to reach your community and share the gospel of Jesus Christ. So thanks so much. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next episode.